Hello everyone, Rabbi Rosen here. Thank you so much for joining me for a few moments of contemplation before Shabbat. I've often spoken about my background in Minnesota. It was very formative for me in so many different ways. And the term Minnesota nice was a reality. People were nice to each other, to strangers. If your car broke down, cars would stop to help you. If you got stuck in a snowbank, which happened a lot, people would come by and help push you out. People would regard total strangers of very different backgrounds with respect and decency, curiosity and compassion. It was also a place where there was a high sense of trust. You basically believed what others told you. You believed the government. There was a trade-off. The taxes were high, yes, but the services were fundamentally good. And on the state, local, and federal level, you had the sense that the government was trying its best to help you. That sense of trust, that sense of niceness is all but blasted to smithereens these days. It's gone. And it's a great tragedy. All of it punctuated not only by scandals that have taken place, but also, of course, most recently, with the sad, terrible violence that took the life of Renee Nicole Good. We have a saying in our tradition, Kishma Kain He, as is her name, so is the person. And this woman was good. She was a kind mother, a partner. She was active in her community. She was generous. She was a poet. She tried her best to make a difference. And you'll forgive me if this is a painful kind of comparison, but those of us who have seen the yes, very deliberate ramming of citizens. I'm thinking of what takes place in Israel, sadly, on a fairly frequent occurrence, at bus stops, at train stops, where there is total intent to cause harm and even death. You see that and you know what you are seeing. And this is not what took place, by my eyes at least, in Minneapolis this week on the part of the ICE officer who shot this woman. What is so painful about all of this, on top of the absolute horrible nature of the loss of good life, is our reactions. You would think, whatever our political orientations, whatever our perspectives, there could be at least one moment of unity and saying, this is a tragedy. This is the kind of thing we ought to mourn. A woman has been taken from this earth. A mother is no longer in the house in which she raised her children. This terrible moment is something that is reflected in the realities of the painful, constant, ongoing antagonism that has not only taken place, but is being nurtured in many quarters. I am taken by the power of an image in this week's Torah portion. It is Hasneh she'eino uchal. It is the bush that was not capable of being consumed even though it was burning. A burning bush where the flame does not consume the branches. How could that be? Because in this world, it is not always necessary for a fire to consume. Because there are flames and there are lights and there are glowing embers of joy and hope whose sole purpose is to create a sense of enlightenment and of God's presence and of holiness and of being able to move forward in partnership. That is a fundamental Jewish teaching, and we see it all the time, but we are content far too much to allow the fires that we see to be only the kinds that burn and consume. I yearn for a day in which that burning bush will be our symbol, a symbol of a flame that simply is, where we can all of us, be capable of seeing that we take our brotherhood and sisterhood in vain in the sense of embracing each other, whatever our differences to be resolved, kindly, patiently, with trust. It doesn't exist yet, but maybe the one decent thing that could possibly flow from the horrible events of this week is that one day all of us might kindle just that kind of flame and bask in the light that it creates. Shabbat Shalom.